Louise, tell us about how the film came about. It was developed through Northern Ireland Screen's New Talent Focus.
It
There must
was,
be a
yeah.
story there.
Yeah, well, I'd been working as a production manager and a line producer for a number of years prior to this, and I was asked to come along and, well, first of all, I was asked to read the script, and then I really liked it, obviously, and then asked to come along and interview for the job. So I did, and they offered me the job. I met Tess via Zoom on that occasion because she lives in Berlin. Um, so yeah, so I was offered the job, and it was a kind of a case of, oh right, okay, now what do I do? Because I was like, yeah, I have to make a feature film, and so it we had a certain amount of money that Northern Ireland Screen give you, but you have to try and raise an extra few quid. And so the first task I had to do was sort of set around getting more funding. And I started looking around for people to help me do that. So it was a bit of a task um, to do because I had never really had to do anything like that before. As a production manager and line producer, you walk into a job and the funding's already there for you. Um, but through conversations with people, and then Rona, my sister, we thought, well, you know what, we'll approach Roma Downey to see if she's able to come on board and help us out. So we did, and she loved the script and identified it with it, and she just said, "Yeah, what do you need?" And she was just been an amazing supporter from the get go.
Because you've a background with working with BBC.
Yeah, so I had, I suppose I knew how to run a production. I mean, I'd been doing that anyway, but I'd worked in BBC in Belfast for about 23 years, um, and left there in 2011. Took a redundancy. The BBC were doing a round of redundancies at the time. I was working in the interactive and learning online department, just creating small uh, pieces of content for different radio and television programs. So yeah, I left there after 2011, and then just sort of fell into the filmmaking world in Northern Ireland with after about 4 months of not doing anything. My husband says, you need to get out of the house because you're driving everybody mad. Because it was just like, couldn't sit still. So in order to save my marriage and my life, I went down to a tweet up, as they called it then, down in a pub in Belfast, and met some people who were looking for a production manager for a low budget feature called Made in Belfast, which was written and directed by Paul Kennedy and starred Kieran McMenamin. So made that, and then it just sort of took off from there, really. Just before I knew it, I was making shorts and working on different feature films. Um, and that had brought me into the sort of radar of Northern Ireland Screen. So I started working on some of the other new talent focused movies that were being made around the time, like The Survivalist and The Dig. And so I'd line produced The Dig for Brian Faulkner the year before, and then they offered me the role for Bump Along the Way after that, because it's a sort of a not a training program, but it's a program where they try and encourage, try and find new writers, directors, and producers to work together on a first feature. So Bump Along the Way was Tess's first feature. It was my first feature as a individual producer, and it was Shelley Love's first feature as a director. So it was trying to find that team, and I found Shelley, and we just started from there, building the team around us, and it sort of came together quite quickly because I knew a production manager in Derry called Chrissy Gallagher, and our director of photography, who became our director of photography, the brilliant Mark Macaulay. So they were the first two people I thought of and went to and said, look, this is what I'm doing. Can you help me out? And they were, yep, no bother. What do you need? And everything. And I just knew I needed to do it in Derry. There was nowhere else you could make this film. You had to make it in Derry, you know.
And not many of the audience might know, but Brona Gallagher is your sister. So how did Brona get involved in the project?
She just does what she's told, Enda. Did I just say to her, you? No, I sent her the script, and I just knew, the whole story, the where it was set, the streets they were talking about, the language, everything about it. I just knew our Brona would love this, and I sent it to her, and she says, "Oh yeah, this is it. This is an opportunity for, first of all, for us to work together, and also to make a film in our hometown, which would have resonated and has resonated with a lot of people. But it was just a warm, funny, and very realistic story that we just felt we needed to do. So she said, "Yeah, let's do it."
And I was quoting a quote from Variety that says that the film's best scenes feel rooted in genuine observation of parenthood, not just engineered around cute life lessons. So they were hinting that Shelley had some kind of investment in the project.
Yeah, Shelley was amazing. Shelley was a single mother herself, and when I was looking for a director, she happened to text or email me out of the blue while I was making The Dig, and she says, "Look, I'm a filmmaker. I've moved back to Northern Ireland to raise my son. Her parents lived in Bangor in County Down, and I just want to connect with people in the industry here." So I went, "Yeah, sure, no problem. Meet her for a coffee." So I met her and her son in a coffee shop in Belfast, and around that time, I had been asked to make the film, and I was looking for a director. And the more we talked, and her son was sitting there, and she was chatting and telling me about her life and what brought her to her situation, I just thought, my God, you've got to meet these people at Northern Ireland Screen. You would. I think you'd be perfect for the job. So we went down, we met her, we met with Tess, and it just happened from there. And she brought, her child was 1 at the time, 1.5. So she just brought everything that she had experienced herself as a single mother over the course of that year to it. And, her child, she was still feeding her child at the time. We had to make special arrangements so she could have a nanny to look after her child while we were shooting. And we got, help from Raising Films and other funding bodies in the UK that allowed us to give Shelley a payment and a role and a fee so that she could pay people to look after her child when she went to work, which was really unheard of at the time. It was the first time Northern Ireland Screen had done that. And it was really important because, she was bringing that, all those feelings of what it was like, and it was tough. It was a tough shoot. We were shooting it in 18 days, and she had to go home to a wee baby each night. And it was the first time they'd really been apart from each other as well. So it was tough on her and her baby to do that. But she was amazing, and she was really professional and just got on with the job, and we got the job done. And then afterwards as well, there's the post-production, that she had to go through. But yeah, I don't think anybody, she really did bring like a huge amount, but she brought a lot of heart and love and really crafted it so well to make it the film that it was. It's different. There's parts of it are different from what the script, because we kind of went with things on the day, and the way the Brona and Lola brought to the script on the day and the filming on the day. But yeah, she was amazing to work with. Absolutely brilliant. I don't know how she did it herself.
It's interesting. Like in of the 12 films in the festival, we have at least 5 women directors. Do you think things, like you said, that was the first time Northern Ireland Screen had done this for a production? Do you think things are changing in terms of gender equity in filmmaking?
I think so. As you say, we've got Kathy Brady, directing Wildfire, and Stacey Gregg has here before
Yeah.
as well. So, and you know, I'm working in development at the minute, and I'm looking for directors for several projects at the minute. And there's so many brilliant women out there at the minute, not just, you know, as directors, but as cinematographers as well. And there's always been a lot of women within production. I mean, within Bump Along the Way, there was at least 7 heads of department, you know, the writer, director, producer, hair and makeup, which you would normally find as well. But within the art department is too, there's so many more coming through now, and people are starting to realize that, you know, that they're more than capable of doing these jobs, and doing them brilliantly as well. Some of the best production designers working here in Northern Ireland at the minute are women, and they're working on all the major television series as well. So yeah, I think it is changing. I mean, it's like anything, it'll probably be slower in some places than others, maybe. But I found it definitely for me. I've never had any personal issues at all. I think I'm just very sort of dogged. You just get the head down and you just get on with it, and you know, just do it.
Yep. Another quote from Variety was that a bump along the way could be a vision for the future for the Derry girls. Do you think that could be true? I did notice a kind of a similarity in the humour, maybe.
Lisa McGee, who wrote Derry Girls, we're all from the one city. You know, we're not all that far apart in terms of the geography of the place. And when we were in Toronto for the film festival over there, a lot of people, I asked at a screening one day, you know, hands up who watches Derry Girls, and all the hands went up. And then I said, well, hands up who watches it with the subtitles on, and all the hands stayed up. They still couldn't completely catch the accent, you know, particularly in Derry Girls where it's a lot faster, and the humour's there as well. But absolutely, I mean, we had a ball in Toronto, and I mean, obviously, there's a big Irish community in Toronto, and they just loved it. It didn't seem to be a barrier, you know. At the end of the day, we're still talking English, and it might not be the Queen's English, but we're still talking English, in our own beautiful way. And yeah, it's just, you know, the odd you know, when Bruno was in the Commitments as well, all those years ago, like, the Commitments published, I remember, a glossary of terms from so that journalists had it, so they knew what everybody was talking about. We were tempted to do it for this, but we didn't. You know, words like yak and all lured, and but we didn't. We just says, no, people can find that out now because they got the internet.
Very good. Hey, we've got Wildfire, which you just mentioned in the festival, and Boys from County Hell, and then Here Before is just won best film at the Galway Fleadh. So is there much happening at the moment in Northern Ireland?
There's a lot happening at the minute. There's going to be, well, Derry Girls season 3 is about to kick off. I know the Dungeons and Dragons is still filming here at the minute, which is a big Hollywood one. There's another, I think there's a whole load of shorts about to start shooting as well. I always end up getting emails from people asking me to help them out on their shorts or whatever. And then I'm going to be doing a 6-part TV series for the BBC from January with 2 Cities Television called Blue Lights, which has been written by Declan Lawn and Adam Patterson. It's a 6-part TV drama, but it's set within the PSNI. And Declan and Adam, they wrote the Salisbury Poisonings, which was a big television series over here. And then we also made a short film together called Rough. I don't know if you guys have got it at all for the festival this year. It stars Michael Smiley and Ryan McParland. It won the IFTA there a few weeks ago for best short film, and we won best short film at Krakow and Kerry. So, and we're now eligible to enter the Oscars. So we're waiting to see how all that will go. But
Wow.
yeah, so it's a very, very busy time here. The problem being then it's very hard to get crew. So, and now with the whole Brexit thing and the whole pandemic, it's even more tricky. Uh, because where beforehand you'd be able to get crew members from across the water or in Europe. That makes it the whole what's been happening the last year, 2 years, has just made it that wee bit more tricky, and costly as well, unfortunately.
Louise, you worked with the BBC for 23 years. It would have given you an opportunity to kind of see things changing in Northern Ireland, and I was going to ask what big changes have you seen the last 5 years? I'm thinking more kind of bigger picture stuff.
Well, the volume of work here has just increased. The past couple of years have been tough, obviously, with the pandemic. Politically, it's still still the same old tribes and their same old rhetoric, which is annoying. But things we have had the yes referendum as well, so and in Ireland as a whole, which has been amazing. And there is, I mean, I love Belfast. I love living in the north of Ireland. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. I tend to sort of keep my head out of the politics of what's going on here. I just want to work and make good work, and keep the north of Ireland in the minds of the people who are in my industry all over the world, to still see it as a place to come, to work in, to visit, to live here if they want, because it is a cracking place to live, and just keep doing that. Yeah, that's just me. I just keep my head down and just get on with it.
And just finally wrapping up, what if you were to look back at a bump along the way, what was the most enjoyable thing for you in working on that?
Oh, just being at home and working with all the crew, and most of the crew were from Derry, and being able to take a project, like a sweet wee project like that, back home, and for 18 days, like, work bloody hard, but just being at home and working with everyone there, and the city, and everyone within the city, and the business communities, and the schools, and everyone there who gave us, they couldn't have done enough for us. It was a brilliant experience, and one that's been very good to me since. And I wouldn't be where I am now if I hadn't made that film. And just the fact that it's 2-3 years on, it's still being shown at film festivals is just mind blowing. It's like you make wee films like that, you never think about where it's going to end up. And I can't believe it's playing in Australia. It's amazing.
Thanks a million, Louise. It's been lovely to talk to you, and congratulations again on the film. And
I hope the festival goes brilliantly, and thanks to everybody in Australia for watching it. Really appreciate it.
Thanks a million. All the best.
All the best. Bye.
Bye.